And welcome back, or just welcome if you're new here. My name is Rusty, and this is me channel where I talk about my favorite movies, mostly horror, and my favorite music, mostly metal. And yes, welcome back to day tree. That's tree. That's 1, 2, 3 of Shark Week on my channel, and we are going to be moving on now to The Meg. This is a first time watch for me. I had never seen it. I bought it a while ago and never got around to seeing it. So yep, it got chosen for this Shark Week. Now The Meg was released in 2018 and it stars Jason Statham, Bingbing Lee, Rainn Wilson, and Ruby Rose from John Wick. That's where I know her from. But yeah. So, The Meg, big budget picture, but it begins with a rescue mission where we're introduced to Jonas in the Philippine Trench where they're trying to rescue a downed submarine. And he's leading the team when suddenly something, and it's like I said, it's in like the deepest part of the trench, and something is attacking the ship. It's the deepest rescue that had ever been done. He managed to get 11 people that he rescued, but something started attacking the outside of the sub, started banging against it, and it trapped a couple of members of his team down there. He tried to get back down there to them, but it had caused a problem with the hatch. And there was only, if he opened that hatch, they would have all died. And so he had to sacrifice them and bust away. At which point the ship was destroyed by this thing that blew it up, caused it to blow up. And we then flash forward to Shanghai in China 5 years later at the Mana 1 Research Center, which is stationed 200 miles off of the Chinese coast. And we see Morris, that's this billionaire. I think he's supposed to be a not right-wing loony version of Elon Musk. So Morris arrives and we're introduced to the facility that he tours, where we meet Jax, that's Ruby Rose, and the Dr. Heller, who was also on the team that Jonas had been on. We are introduced to DJ, Mac, Lori, where they are checking the bottom of the trench. Now, they have this theory that the bottom of the trench is not really the bottom, that there is a super cold layer of chemicals that makes it look like the bottom, but that if you manage to get through it, there would probably be warm water and volcanic vents and stuff like that. So that's the theory that they're trying to check. And Lori is the team leader who is in the sub with two other guys, the Wall and Toshi. Yeah. And they are down there and they manage to go through it, and they indeed find this whole different world, cut across. Cut off, from the rest of the ocean. And down there they find all of these wonderful life forms, and they start being attacked. First their rover is attacked. Then they start being attacked by something that they can't quite figure out what it is. And right before they lose contact with the station, Lori screams out, "Jonas was right, Jonas was right," and they lose contact. Now, they have them all sort of like, if you remember the movie Aliens, if you remember the way that they had all of their vitals hooked up to the computer, where they could, see their vital signs. They know that although they have lost contact, the vital signs are still fine, that they are still alive down there. So that's when they head off to Taiwan to engage Jonas, who of course is going to refuse, except when he finds out that it's Lori, his ex-wife. We find out she is his ex-wife. He agrees to come back. So he comes back and okay, Jonas arrives and is ready to go. That's what I do for getting ahead of my notes. Jonas arrives. He's getting ready to go. Now Sujin, she is the owner's daughter, and she takes off to go down there to try to rescue them herself, not knowing that Jonas is coming. And he comes, so when he gets there, he goes down there and starts trying to find them too. And so he's a little bit behind her, but he goes super fast to catch up with her. And they get down there, and one of the good special effects is when Sujin gets her little submersible gets wrapped up by a squid, a giant squid, and then the squid is attacked and eaten, and that's how she gets loose, and we get to see the Meg for the first time. And Jonas indeed is right. So he ends up talking her, because her ship is damaged, into getting her butt back up there, leaving him alone to rescue them, which they do. He ends up rescuing them, and unfortunately, we have another sacrifice. Toshi knows that the Meg is fixing to hit, and so he shuts and locks the hatch and blows them away, which is very similar to what happened to Jonas before, but this wasn't even done by him. Toshi did this on his own. So at first they give him a bunch of flack for that, but they kind of ease up on him. So that's when we see Morris trying to pressure them into speeding up this research, because other people are going to want to, once this discovery is known, other people will be coming here to exploit it. And so he would prefer to exploit it himself, of course, like a person in his position would. Whereas they don't really have to bother with that too much. You think that that's fixing to be a point of contention, but it turns out that that doesn't matter, because there's this cool scene where the little girl, her daughter, is walking through one of the hallways, and the Meg appears outside just looking at her, and she turns around. That's a really good scene. And when it tries to bite the window, that's an excellent scene. So that discussion that they were having turns out not to be a discussion at all, because the thing has followed them home. So it's out and ready to go. So they start trying to figure out, what the fuck are they going to do? There's reports now of boats being destroyed in the ocean. So they go to try to locate it, to try to find it, to tag it, stuff like that. And there's like these really cool, this movie has like got some really excellent special effects scenes. So, Jonas has to go out there and swim alone because it will attack a boat, to get it tagged, which he manages to do that so they can keep a track on it. And they're also going to kill it. The way that they want to kill it is by using, they want to use a trank, but they want to fill it full of poison. So that's their plan, is that they are going to, now that they can track it, they're going to find it, and they're going to poison it with enough, poison to kill everything. So she decides, Sujin is the one that decides to get into this cage that was created by Jax, that is unbreakable, and it attacks her. She does manage to shoot it with that poison. Doesn't seem to really be affecting it though, and it starts to actually swallow the cage. So she can't get out. Jonas jumps in again to rescue, save the day. So he does that, and they do manage to set that trap, and it works. Right as the Meg is trying to eat them, Jonas and Sejin in the water, it seems to succumb to that poison, and it dies. It really does die. So now you have them all celebrating. They have the body on the boat. They have the body on the boat, and it looks like a scene from Orca. They have the body on the boat, and everybody is like, yeah, we killed it, we killed it, we killed it. I kept expecting it to, like, eat the wall in half, because he kept getting close to its mouth and stuff. But he didn't. However, who was it, DJ? DJ scared the shit out of him, made him fall in the water. And that was pretty funny. Then, all of a sudden, when they're sitting there laughing and carrying on, a Meg about 3 times bigger than that one comes up out of the water, grabs the body of the other Meg, and goes over the boat, capsizing it. So the boat's capsized. We got that nice good jump scare, and everyone's okay. Heller and Jax, though, are still out there in the water, and Heller ends up sacrificing himself to save Jax, which was a good scene. Morris, though, brings in a copter to try to help them because they have escaped the area on, like, speedboats that were from the thing. So he brings in a copter to distract it long enough for them to get away. Zhang ends up dying, though, on the way back to the platform, back to the research station. And then Morris informs them that he has alerted the Chinese government and Indonesia and all those in the area, and that they were sending ships to deal with the Meg, and that they were going to be evacuating the facility. However, that's a lie. He is actually going after it himself by using these weird depth charges, which he does do. They think that they've killed it, so he feels good enough to go to the body, only to find out that it's a whale that they just killed, not the Meg. Looked like a blue whale that they had just killed. And the Meg attacks. And everybody gets away except for Morris, who falls off the back of the boat, deservedly so. He misses the first bite, which was a cool scene, and then he thinks he's safe and he's crawling up on top of the well when the Meg gets him. That was a really good scene. Yeah. So he is killed. They end up trying to find it again, only now this thing is headed towards, like, the most populated beach in the world, right? So they come up with a new plan to get it to come back. They can't exactly tell anyone. They did try to call and tell anyone, because of course now they know Morris lied. So they try to call and tell, people. But nobody believes them. They're just like, yeah, you're right. A dinosaur shark's on the loose, yeah. Get off my line, says the president. So the Meg does attack the beach, and there's some cool scenes there. And then they end up, like, drawing it away by using sonar. So they draw it away from the beach after it's done a huge amount of damage, probably killed hundreds of people. And then you have the big boss chase and the boss fight of the movie. Jonas and, the shark, they're all twisty-turny. Sujin's in the fight too, so it's a huge, like, the best PC game that you could have, going through the boss fight. A bunch of news crews spot this activity that's going on over there, and they come over and start taking pictures, end up hitting each other because they can see this shark. So everybody's freaking out. The copters end up hitting each other. One of them hits the ship, which causes, a big explosion. Everybody's in the water. Jonas doesn't really know what to do now, so instead his idea is to take his submersible and turn it on its side with the fin and go right down the middle of the Meg, which is what he does, which of course is going to draw every shark within hundreds of miles is going to come running. So he does that. The Meg still almost eats him though, and he stabs it in the eye, and then pushes the harpoon down into its brain. And then hundreds and hundreds of sharks descend upon the Meg, and it takes care of the rest. So they all get back on the boat now that everything has been rescued, and your major masterpiece is over. Now, I don't consider it a masterpiece. It's a good 7 out of 10 to me. I loved the action. 7.5 maybe. 7.5 out of 10 is what I would give it. It's got great special effects, great action sequences, beautiful cinematography, good action scenes, which you would expect from Jason Statham. So, yeah, I mean, if you're one of those who haven't seen The Meg, like me, I had not seen it. It was a first-time watch. I really, really liked it. I did enjoy it. It was very fun. All 3 of these movies have been really fun to me and will definitely be watched again. They are making a sequel to come out in 2023 called The Trench, The Meg 2, The Trench. So I wonder what that storyline is going to be like. I don't know. Is Jason Statham still young enough to play these kind of roles? We'll see. But I guess if Charles Bronson, yeah, but all Charles Bronson did was shoot people. He didn't have to go through, Charles Bronson didn't exactly do kung fu off the roof, did he? So he could do that into his 70s, right? Because all he had to do was just pull a gun and blow your ass away. So we'll see what the sequel to The Meg is going to be like. Let me know your thoughts about The Meg, and I will see you in the next one, where we will start day 4 of Shark Week. And love you, miss you, bye. Thank you very much for taking the time to check it out and hear my thoughts on this one. And let me know what you thought about it. Also, remember the community tab on my channel. I've been asking people to let me know what their favorite. I put 3 polls on there for you to let me know what genre you like out of the 3 different choices. Well, there's 5 choices 3 times, so you get 3 choices of, what's your favorite genre. I just like kind of knowing what people's favorite thing is. But I will see you in the next one. Always remember, never forget, you're a very wonderful, special person. And even if you are not Jason Statham with no shirt on, you're still special. And I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.